My mother sent me a text. Stay away from the wedding. You and your kids just complicate things. No heads up, no call. Just those stark words glowing on my phone as I stood in the pharmacy line, clutching a $140 prescription. My sister responded with a laughing emoji. I stared at it briefly, then fired back. Guess you won't need my credit card for the venue then. They kept chuckling in the group chat, oblivious to the fact that I held the one thing they couldn't afford to lose. That's when the threads of their plans started to fray. Before I share how it all unfolded, smash that like button and drop a comment. Has your family ever turned cold the moment you drew a line? People who hear stories like mine always ask the same thing. How could your own kin treat you that way? Truth is, it wasn't sudden. My mom, Angela, had a knack for spinning guilt into obligation, and I was her go-to ATM. Since I was 16, she called it pitching in, but every favor came with a hidden bill. When my sisters Jenna and Megan were in college, I co-signed their loans because mom said I had the stable job. When our stepdad, Rick, hit a rough patch, I paid for utilities, groceries, even mom's salon visits, always with promises of repayment that never came. I learned young that in our family, love was tallied in dollars. Still, I gave, thinking that's what daughters do. Now, at 35, I'm a single mom of two, juggling my accounting job at a pharmaceutical firm. My days melt into spreadsheets, school drop-offs, and the bone-deep fatigue only solo parents know. Yet, I still made room for them. For months, I helped Jenna plan her dream wedding. Every bill, every call, every deposit had my name on it. She wanted a stunning lakeside venue with a glass-walled reception hall, the kind that screams Instagram perfection but costs more than most people's cars. I told myself it was okay, that she deserved it. I didn't see I was bankrolling my own exclusion. Looking back, there were clues, small moments I should have caught. Mom's voice would sharpen when I mentioned splitting costs. Jenna dodged my questions like I was just her accountant. You're so good with finances, she'd laugh. You've got this. And I did. $3,000 for the deposit, $1,200 for catering consults, $600 for flower samples, all on my card. I thought they'd chip in once things settled. They didn't. Still, I stayed involved, attending fittings, browsing fabric samples, touring the venue when Jenna claimed she was too overwhelmed. Mom kept saying family stays tight. I bought it, right up until that text hit. Maybe that's why it stung so much. It wasn't just a wedding snub. It was realizing my worth was tied to my wallet. In that pharmacy line, I wasn't plotting payback or thinking about money. I was replaying every time I begged to be seen as a daughter, not a resource. That text made it crystal clear. I was their safety net, not their guest. And I was done. The next morning, the group chat hummed like a wasp nest. My phone pinged with laughing emojis, private jokes, and a meme of a bridesmaid stumbling down the aisle. It wasn't just mean, it was orchestrated. They were all in on it. I stared at those messages before silencing the chat entirely. That quiet click felt louder than any words I could have sent. Sitting on my bed, phone still in hand, I thought back over the past 6 months. Every receipt, every deposit, every favor dismissed like it was nothing. I'd spent over $4,000 on Jenna's big day, reshuffled my life, skipped weekends with my kids, took work leave, all to make her vision flawless. And now they decided I was the problem. That truth didn't just hurt, it seared. But beneath the burn, there was clarity. They didn't want me there. They wanted my money, not me. That night, Rick called. His words were sparse, his tone cautious. You don't deserve this, Adeline, he said. You've done more than anyone. I heard the conflict in his voice, torn between loyalty and honesty. I told him I was fine, not to worry. He didn't buy it, but he didn't push. After we hung up, I opened my laptop and pulled up the venue contract, my name in bold as the primary contact. Those words felt heavier than ever. I looked around my dim, quiet apartment, my kids asleep in their rooms, and realized this was my only true safe haven. Everything outside, guilt, expectations, manipulation, belonged to them. But this was mine. My cursor lingered over an email draft I'd started weeks earlier when the venue needed final confirmation. I recalled the coordinator's kind voice, Reach out anytime if you need changes. Without hesitating, I typed, "Can I cancel the booking if needed?" and hit send. The next morning, the reply landed, "Yes, as the primary contact, you can cancel." I read it twice, my pulse steady for the first time in days. They thought I'd stay silent, keep paying, keep groveling for a place at a table that had no seat for me. They didn't know that table was about to vanish. I didn't cancel immediately. I waited 2 days, letting their laughter echo, letting the silence sharpen. By Wednesday, Jenna posted an Instagram story, 12 days until forever. I watched it for 3 seconds before opening my laptop. The venue coordinator, Melissa, answered on the second ring. She knew me instantly, probably because I was the only one who showed up to planning meetings. "Hi, Adeline. Ready to confirm the final payment?" she asked brightly. "Actually," I said, my voice even, "I need to cancel the event." A brief pause followed, then a quiet "understood. Since the contract's in your name, I'll process it now." Just like that, months of planning dissolved with one click. Instead of guilt, I felt calm, a heavy but clean stillness like the air after a storm. After hanging up, I stared at the muted group chat. They were still sharing memes about the drama queen spoiling the vibe. I nearly smiled, knowing they'd soon see what real drama meant. That afternoon, I called Carla and Denise, my college friends who'd eloped during the pandemic without a proper celebration. When I told them the venue and date were free, they thought I was kidding. "No joke," I said. "It's yours if you want it." My gift. There was silence, then quiet sobs over the line. They didn't know it, but they were saving me too. Giving that day new meaning let me shed its bitterness. By evening, the group chat went silent. I knew why. The payment had bounced, and the venue had sent the cancellation notice. I pictured the chaos. Jenna refreshing her email, Mom pacing, Megan typing in all caps. I sipped water, leaning against my counter, waiting, not out of spite but curiosity. How long until they realized the one holding it all together was gone? They'd mock my kindness. Now they'd learn what happens when the punchline walks away. The fallout hit fast. By Thursday morning, my phone buzzed relentlessly. Jenna, Mom, Megan, all leaving frantic voicemails. "Why is the venue canceled?" "Adeline, call me now." "What did you do?" I didn't respond. I wanted them to sit in the confusion they'd built for me. By noon, Rick called, his voice calm but firm. "They're falling apart," he said. "Jenna's sobbing, your mom's shouting, Megan's pointing fingers. I warned them this would happen." He paused. "I'm sorry, kiddo. You deserved better." I didn't cry, just said, "Thanks for seeing it." That night, Mom called my landline, a number she hadn't used in years. The ring felt alien in my home. When I answered, she skipped pleasantries. "How could you ruin your sister's wedding?" she snapped, voice quivering with rage. I let her vent until she paused for air. Then, softly, I asked, "Was I even invited anymore?" Silence. She stammered, "You misread that text. We were joking." Jenna was stressed. She didn't mean it. I nearly laughed. "You all thought it was funny enough to post memes," I said. Her voice wavered between guilt and anger. "Don't make this worse. Fix it." I hung up, no shouting, no drama, just a clean break. The next morning, I met Rick for coffee downtown. He looked drained, his eyes carrying a familiar weariness. "Your mom's unbearable," he said. "Jenna's calling every venue within 50 miles. Nothing's available. Catering? Refunds are gone, non-transferable." A faint smile tugged at his lips. "I told her I'm not paying a cent unless she apologizes to you." I sipped my coffee, savoring the warmth. "What did she say?" He looked down. "She says I'm being manipulated by you." I smiled. "Maybe you're just seeing clearly." By Sunday, their silence was deafening. No calls, no posts, not even from Jenna. I thought it was over until Rick texted. They found a new venue. Wednesday evening, cheap banquet hall outside town. I could see it. Fluorescent lights, folding chairs, foil-covered buffet trays. On the wedding day, rain poured, cold, unyielding, turning the parking lot into a swamp. I wasn't there, but I didn't need to be. A cousin texted photos. What happened? It looks depressing. Jenna didn't tag me, but Megan slipped, posting a blurry shot of the hall, beige walls, plastic flowers, a tinny sound system. Her caption, round two, no drama. The irony almost made me chuckle. Later, Rick called. You won't believe this, he said. During the bouquet toss, one of Jenna's friends caught it and shouted the groom still texting her. Room went dead. I stifled a laugh. Mom blamed me, he went on. Said I invited the wrong people. I told her she pushed away the only person holding this family together. He sighed deeply. I think she got it, not the words, but the silence after. When we hung up, I sat on my couch, the hum of the fridge and my kids' soft breathing filling the quiet. I expected to feel smug, maybe victorious, but instead, I felt peace, like a weight had lifted. The next morning, Jenna texted, You must be so proud. Everyone's saying how heartless you are. I stared at her words, thumb hovering. For a second, I considered replying, justifying myself. But why? She didn't want truth. She wanted a fight. So I set the phone down and let it buzz until it stopped. Days later, Rick texted, I'm leaving. I called him right away. You mean it? I asked. Yeah, he said. I told your mom I'm done. I can't stay where decency's treated like betrayal. His voice softened. I added you to my insurance, by the way. You're the only one who ever felt like family. My throat caught, but no tears fell. Thank you, I whispered. That night, I stepped onto my balcony. The rain had cleared, the air fresh and new. I thought of Mom's cold text, the emojis, their laughter. They thought I was petty for pulling back. But it wasn't revenge, it was freedom. For years, I'd paid for their peace. Now, mine was mine alone. A week later, Rick moved out, no drama, just a quiet exit that spoke louder than words. He left a note on my doorstep in his neat handwriting. You were right to walk away first. Over coffee days later, he looked lighter, almost younger. The house is a mess, he said. Your mom's acting like nothing's wrong, but Megan's jobless, and Jenna's buried in wedding debt. He stirred his coffee slowly. Funny thing, they still haven't apologized. Not once. I smiled, not out of joy, but clarity. They can't, I said. Apologizing means admitting they've got nothing left to take. He chuckled and handed me an envelope with a check, part of a loan he'd taken for them. They'll never see this, he said. But you deserve it. I pushed it back. Keep it, Rick. You've paid enough. That night, on my balcony, city lights twinkling below, my phone buzzed. Mom, you've made your point, but we're still family. I read it once and replied. I didn't cut anyone off. I just stopped paying for my own pain. She never answered. Inside, my kids giggled, piling pillows into a fort. I watched them and realized peace isn't loud or showy. It's steady, quiet, mine. For years, I thought love meant enduring, carrying everyone's burdens no matter the cost. Now I know love without respect is just control in disguise. Walking away wasn't vengeance, it was survival. This mess taught me peace doesn't come from mending what's broken. It comes from letting it go. If you've ever had to choose between your peace and your family's approval, trust me, choose peace. You'll breathe easier. You'll sleep better. If this hit home, let me know where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.